Last year, when I was featured on a Netflix series called Love on the Spectrum, I knew I probably wasn't going to find real love, but I didn't expect to get kicked off the show mid-season. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the program, the premise is this. They find two people that are on the spectrum, one man, one a woman, and they pair them together and get them to start dating to see if they can find love. So as the story begins, I'm on the internet. More specifically, I'm on my phone on the internet. And what I'm doing is I'm scrolling through auditions looking at how to get into reality TV shows. Because the fun fact about me, every time I get released from the penitentiary, I do this. I don't know why, it's just always been my hustle. So I'm scrolling, and boom, I find it, Love on the Spectrum. I look into the description, wow, it's perfect. So I scroll to the bottom of the description and I find the email. Then I email them, hey, I'm Drake, I'm looking for love. And I wait a few days. After waiting a few days, they email me back. After waiting a few days, I get an email. It's them. They message me back. They say, hey, Drake, we're interested. We would like to email you in your home. But I'm thinking, dang, there's a problem. I don't have a home. I'm in a halfway house. So I go ask my house manager, tell him what's going on. He said, yeah, they can come. So I email him back and I tell him, come on. So eventually these people come to my halfway house. They walk through the door and immediately they're like, what is this place? I'm like, relax, it's cool. So a few minutes later, they're still in my halfway house and they're acting weird and nervous and they're meeting everybody and they're acting scary. And I'm like, man, what are we doing here? I thought the whole premise of the show was trying to erase a stigma. I said, look, you're already erasing a stigma about being on the spectrum. You might as well release a stigma about ex-cons, gangbangers, and face tattoos. So after a mild back and forth, they agreed and we sat down and we did the interview. During the interview, naturally, they're asking me questions. Hey, what's your name? Are you looking for love? Etc., etc. So I tell them, hey, my name is Drake, and yes, I am looking for love bad. So after the interview, they send in a mental health specialist to evaluate me. And after the evaluation, the mental health specialist says, Drake, we got great news for you. So the mental health specialist broke it down to me like this. He said, all mental health stems from one of two things, autism or schizophrenia. And the good news for you is you scored pretty high in both. And I'm like, yes. Does that mean I made the show? And they're like, absolutely. They give me an address and a time when to be there and transportation to get there. I am so excited. So I get there, I go to the dressing room. They dress me up like I'm about to go bowling, which I thought was pretty weird. So they put a microphone on me. They try to get me comfortable with the cameras. And they say, okay, Drake, you're going on a date tonight. Now I got butterflies. I'm so nervous I can barely stand it. Oh, I'm about to find love. I just know it. So then they tell me what restaurant it's going to be at, and it was a nice restaurant. I'm talking 4 or 5 stars. It definitely wasn't a Chili's. I walk in the restaurant, the host is super nice to me, the cameras are already set up, and they go, oh, Drake, you already have a reservation, and she's here. So then the host walks me with the menu to the special room in the back, and I go to the special room in the back, and boom, I see her. Man, she is gorgeous. I mean, she is the second most beautiful woman I'd ever seen in my life, coming second to the woman from 90 Day Fiancé. So I go, introduce myself, I sit down, I talk to her, I order food, but I notice the chemistry's a little off. Something weird's going on. And in hindsight, I know it was my fault because I was just so nervous. I was making everybody uncomfortable, but now I had to get out of the situation. I had to think of something and fast. So she looks at me and she's noticing I'm getting uncomfortable. She goes, Drake, what's wrong? So I look at her and I say, baby, I got a confession to make. She goes, what is it? I start to explain and then she cuts me off. She goes, no, wait, I know what your problem is. You're not on the spectrum. You're gay.